Hey everyone, welcome to this edition of Yankee Spotlight. How's everyone doing today, Sunday? I think Silver Wheels was in here first. Karen said she had to go to sleep, so I don't think she's going to be here, but I do see J Mart, howdy. I see Ron F, Silver Junkie, and the Burning Coin Collector. So, how many people do we have? Let's check this out really quick. Oh, just a couple people. We're going to let people see the announcement as it pops up that I've gone live. Hopefully, we'll have 4 or 5 people in the stream. There's Silver Heist. How you doing, my friend? Great to see you. Thanks for popping in. Steve, looking for silver. Well, you found it. You found Yankee Stacking. All right, Silver Wolverine, thank you for joining. Stop Struggling Now popped in. It's good to see you, man. Yes, it's Sunday. Yes, it is Yankee Spotlight. Today is a special spotlight. And I just want to say that it's the second Yankee Spotlight. I'm going to interview each month, hopefully, the movers and shakers in our YouTube community. I mean, really cool people, content creators that do all kinds of stuff for us, like enlighten, entertain, challenge us. I think tonight's guest is going to do a lot of the latter, but we'll see. International stackers in the house. I am in Gettysburg. Oh, good for you, man. I wonder if we're going to have another war, international stacker. Interesting. Thank you for jumping in. Again, this is Yankee Spotlight. This is my chance to shine the light on some incredible members of our YouTube community, to get to know them better. That's my goal, really, to get new details on different members, different great content creators. And you'll have a chance to ask your own questions. All right. And I've chose Sunday afternoon, this time slot right now, in hopes that I see some people from across the pond. Is there anybody out there from Europe? Anybody out there from our any European stackers out there? If there is, just hit 1 in the chat. Don't be shy. If there's anybody lurking out there that hasn't typed anything in the chat, because that is one of the reasons why I picked this time, so that they could actually watch this. So anyways, thanks for those who have popped in. And I think I'm going to, wait a minute, you're in Gettysburg, International Stacker. Don't give me that. He's giving me a hard time. Silver Steeler has popped in. How you doing? You already smashed the like button? Well, thank you. Hey, I hope your wife pops in too, or is she busy? Oh, I'll tell you, winning is awesome. Your wife really knows how to take photos. Beautiful. Kellen L is in the house. Normal Norm 777, excuse me. There's winning image photography. Thanks for being on today. We're going to welcome someone incredible. I am still jacked that he actually agreed to come on Yankee Spotlight. I want to introduce to you one of the most noticeable voices in our Precious Metals YouTube community. This guy inspired me to stack and start my channel. It is none other than the incredible SilverTorch66. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. And I am a huge fan of your channel.
Oh, man. Are you kidding me? This is a tremendous treat for me, Bell. I mean, this is amazing. I'm serious. I'm not. I told you before the stream started. I was telling my family I'm gonna go Yankee Spotlight with SilverTorch66, and they all kind of looked at each other like, "Okay, you told us that like 6 times already, Dad." You know, they don't want me to do it anymore, so they know where I am right now. They're rooting me on. This is exciting. I also told you that last year when I started stacking, it really was in large part because of you. I remember literally laying in my hammock in a nice hot July, listening to those staccato violin notes, in your video intros.
Right.
So iconic. And I just was like, oh, it would just like focus me in. And then I'd start learning so much from the content that you posted. So thanks so much for being on Yankee Spotlight.
Appreciate it. It's an honor to be here, and it's a privilege to be able to have an influence on folks in the community like that. So thank you very much.
Well, you're welcome. Something else that I think everybody in the chat should know. How many live streams have you done before Yankee Spotlight?
This is the first.
I'm sorry, but that just blew my mind when you said that. You got almost 12,000 subscribers, and this is your first live stream.
Well, you're the first one to ask.
I am triply honored now. That is absolutely incredible. Oh, man. So, again, I'm going to open up questions for the people that are in the chat a little bit later. But right now, dude, I think it's time. Oh, Silver Dragons just popped in. Dude, I don't know if you heard this, but this is the first live stream that SilverTorch66 has ever done. SD. Dude, can you believe that? Oh, man. If you've not checked out SilverTorch66, I don't know what to tell you. So right now, it's time to turn the light on SilverTorch66. All right, man. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. First, I have to ask you: have you ever revealed your first name on YouTube?
No. I pretty much go by my avatar, or whatever the community version of that avatar name the community wants to use for me.
All right. So so if I were to ask you right now for first names, I can call you for the rest of the stream.
Torch is good with me.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. I'm gonna push you a little bit. I'm not gonna try to make you divulge anything that it would compromise, your anonymity or something. But I'm gonna push you a little. I'm gonna push the envelope.
Sounds good.
Fun. All right. So it's SD60. No, I think I'm gonna do Torch. I'm gonna start currently Torch. But you got to tell me, that's 66. Is that particularly meaningful, or is it just 66 because you like that?
Oh. Well, when I first started the channel back in 2016, Silver Torch was taken. So I was thinking, what am I going to come up with? And so I came up with my birth year, which is 66, and that's how this channel became Silver Torch 66.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Is that the only reason you picked 66? Because a lot of times, like with Silver Limey, I know he does. I know Silver Dragons does with his 47 because that's how old he is. I had to say that, man. I don't know. Is that it? That's the only reason. You just like 66. It's available, and that's it.
Yeah, there's nothing deep or dark behind it. Yeah, it's just the birth year. That's all.
1966. Well, guess what? That's mine. So you and I can't believe this, but we're the same age.
Young men, aren't we?
We are young men.
Young men.
Yes. Try to keep it young. Stack it while we're young, right? I just want to say hi to a few more people like Urban Lifestyle. Eli, are you done with your stream? Thank you so much for popping in here. Scrapping, hoarding, tinkering, fun, SHTF. Thank you so much for popping in here. Michael I. Yes, he is growing more and more popular in our community. Love to see you, Michael I. Reese Jones. Thank you. Silver Limey 79. Yes, I just called you out, bro. Thank you so much for jumping. And one of the reasons why I picked this time on Sunday was for you, Limey. I wanted you to be able to join without making your wife upset. Duke Cat, John RMS, another one from across the pond. This is great. PMU, I already called you out. Let me see. ECP's in the house. Thank you all so much. Guys, I'll say it one last time because I know some of you haven't heard this. This is Silver Torch's first live stream. I'm sorry. I don't mean to embarrass you, Torch, but I mean, that's just amazing.
Not at all. Not at all.
All right. I got to ask you this. You're retired military man, right?
I am.
What branch?
Army.
Yes, Army. And where did you serve?
Well, over the course of 20 years, just about everywhere.
Okay.
But,
yeah.
No, but my last duty station was in South Korea.
South Korea. Yeah, that's probably where I remember a lot of your videos. I don't know if they were stemming from that location, but you spent a lot of time there recently.
Right. So I was in South Korea until 2017. I came
Mm-hmm.
stateside in late 2017. So those
Right.
first couple of years of my channel, I was in South Korea.
That's awesome. And
Yeah.
I know people I plan on doing this too, but thank you so much for your service. I mean that very much.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you. So, all right, let me see. We got Donald in the house too. Dad's Life. Thank you so much. This is great for you. JT Coin Rings. Nice stream you had, by the way, with Eli. Good job, guy. Love seeing that. And this is Yankee Spotlight. We're turned the spotlight on SilverTorch66. An incredible honor for me. In fact, you said South Korea, right?
Yeah.
You're pretty knowledgeable with the Comsco Mint, aren't you?
I was fortunate enough because I had spent so much time there to link up with some of the local coin distributors,
Mm-hmm.
and as Comsco is the only the only mint for South Korea, it mints everything. There is no competition over there. There is no second mint. So all of these businesses have to deal with Comsco for the creating of coinage or medallions. And so I was able to, to learn quite a bit and understand the dynamics between the Asian business over there. And it's very different from the United States.
Yeah, I bet. I can imagine how it is. I think I'm thinking back to again last year when you were talking about that mint. In fact, I think the Zen Gallus was purchased by yours truly because of you. I mean, it was directly because of you because I think you did a focus on it. I was like, oh, I got to get that. Ooh. So yeah,
it's a great series.
It is a great series. I haven't collected all of them, but that one I love the look of it.
Yeah, I've never been a huge fan of the lunar. Of course, there's specific ones that I like.
Mm-hmm.
But when this series came out, it was so unique. It wasn't the typical animal, the Chinese animal.
Right.
It was these characters, these gods, these protectors.
Right.
And I just found that fascinating. So it was a very it was a very nice change, and I enjoyed the artwork. I worked with Coins Limited, Today Limited Coins, who were the creators of the artwork, or at least of the concept.
Right. And just hearing you talk, this is what typifies ST66, guys. I mean, some channels do a lot of entertaining, some challenge us. You educate us, you enlighten us, you bring out these salient points about coins and rounds that I just don't know. It's clear you really, really do your research, and quite frankly, you're also an expert photographer. Do you take your own pictures? Those are all your own doing?
Most of them are. If it's pictures of a piece that I'm highlighting, then yes, I do all of the photography myself, and I set up a little studio, and it takes time, but I work with lighting and I work with color and whatever, and just try to highlight the product in the best way possible.
Right.
And
that's cool.
And I enjoy it. Yeah, I really do.
All right. Enough of the coins. I want to get a little personal here.
All right.
So you left South Korea and you came back, and I asked you. We did a sticker trade. I got your sticker, and I'm actually showing it right here under the light. But there's this other sticker you sent along. Ooh, southernmost point, dude. Where are you now?
I am in Key West, Florida.
Key West, Florida.
Yes.
Like all the way west.
All the way. As a matter of fact, that that sticker that you're holding is an actual physical buoy that's located down here in Key West, just off the end of Duval Street, and it is 90 miles to Cuba. And actually,
wow.
From where I live, I am closer to Havana, Cuba, than I am to Miami, Florida.
That's unbelievable. That is really interesting. Dude, what's it like down there? I mean, is it just truly what we think, Margaritaville? Is it just like kick back and relax and take it easy in life?
No, I'm not gonna lie. It's paradise. This place is awesome.
Dude, that's awesome.
Live
Wow.
entertainment every night, and everyone it's an island, so everyone's laid back and easygoing.
Freaking.
The
All right.
fastest you can drive is 35 miles per hour anywhere on the island. So.
It's probably as fast as you want to go, right?
Yeah, I mean.
Okay, everybody in the chat, hit 1 if you're jealous of Torch right about now. Jeez, I gotta put 1 in there. Well, actually, it is June, so I don't know. How hot is it out there right now?
Yeah, it's pretty hot and humid.
Okay, I'll get in touch with you back in September or October.
But the ocean breeze and the views are just amazing here.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Yeah, you posted a recent video, I think, a little bit different than what I usually see. I think it was Fantasy Fest on Duval Street.
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
I thought I would, share a little off topic with the Silver Stackers out there. Give a little break.
Yeah. Did you say off color or off topic?
Off topic. Yeah. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and most folks don't realize that these types of festivals and activities are going on all year round down here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I bet. All right, so you're an amazing stacker. It's obvious, we see it. You have not just. Let me actually show. I'm gonna switch off gear out of this camera, and just switch over to his channel again. If you haven't subscribed to SilverTorch66, again, you are almost to 12,000 subscribers. That's amazing. And you also have a website too. I want to pop that up. That's pretty cool. Shark Week. Oh yeah, there we go. And you have some pictures down here, all kinds of different content. I think International Stacker wanted me to ask you if you have any chiwus in your pockets right now.
I do.
You do not. That's too funny. But yeah, you have an impressive channel, and I'm an impressive stack. But I got to ask too, how do this is more of the personal side. How does your friends and your family view your passion for precious metals? I mean, do they watch your channel?
Some of my family members do. They're supportive of, my content creating, but then on the other hand, it's a double-edged sword because it does take a great deal of my personal time. And so I have to, take those moments and compromise and step away for a little while and make sure I'm giving the family the attention they deserve as well.
Right. And well, you're like, when you educate people, I'm just wondering, does your friends and family take that knowledge and actually stack themselves?
Well, that's my goal. I have to say that I haven't converted any of my family members yet. However, it's, when you're talking about stacking is not a subject that you can force on other people. It's something where you lead them to the facts, you lead them to the knowledge, and then you hope that they can assemble that knowledge into a big picture that allows them to realize how important the retention of your wealth is in an economy that's as troubled as we are in today.
Well said. It's the old lead them to water, but it can't make them drink.
Right.
But I appreciate that. Moose Socks, I appreciate you popping in. Nomadic Diesel, thank you. I still can't believe I have SilverTorch66 under the spotlight with me. Yankee Stacking, thank you so much again. He's a great channel. Is an amazing guy. And actually, hit 1 in the chat if you are currently subscribed to Torch. I just want to see if there's, just how many ones we have popping up there. One of the very first videos I can remember watching was the Silver Stacking top 5 coins to stack. Again, this was last year. I was kind of new to it, but you had this top 5, and it was beautiful. I think the order was an ASC, a CML, or should say American Silver Eagle, Canadian Maple Leaf, Constitutional Silver, then the Libertad, and then the Philharmonic. Does that sound right?
Yeah, it was. I did a series of top fives, coins to stack, rounds, such.
Do you still rank it that way?
Well, actually, interesting that you bring that up. With some of the feedback that I've gotten from our community members across the pond, I the top five is really dependent on where you live in the world, and to cover down on the European region of the world and what you should have in that region. I think based on the input from our community members across the pond, I would probably replace the Philharmonic with the Britannia now. But other than that, I would probably keep the first four in the order that I have them.
Okay. Yep. The Britannia. I can definitely agree with that. In fact, yeah, I just got a whole tube of those because I think you're right. I think that is a beautiful coin to stack. And then I think another video, if I remember right, was oh yeah, I remember. I'm not sure the exact title, but I think it was Cull Silver Eagle purchase, and it was a great deal or something. And I'm just going to tell everybody right now, and I'm sure they know this. That is me, man. I am all over Cull Silver right now. Cull American Silver Eagles. In fact, I put these out. I put these out in your honor right here, bud. Look at that. That video was absolutely awesome. I had been stacking. In fact, here's another tube of them too. Yeah, I had been stacking. You could tell by looking at the edges a little bit. I can stack in BUs a lot. And then when I watched your video, I was like, you know what? I wonder how low of how much over spot I could get some culls. And I'll tell you, man, that transformed my stacking around American Silver Eagles.
Yeah,
do you have more thoughts about that? You could share with people in the chat.
Sure, absolutely. I think a lot of people overlook the cull. I think especially the Silver Eagles. It could be the Maple Leafs as well, or any of the sovereign type bullion coins, but especially the Silver Eagles. I think that because they're not perfect, because they might have some tarnishing or some scratches, that they're just bypassed.
Yep.
Well, if you're truly stacking for weight, and you only intend on getting the spot value, and
Right.
of course we hope that spot value will be considerably higher than it is today by the time that you liquidate.
Right.
That you're really getting a great deal by taking advantage of the price for the culls over the brand new,
right?
Provided that you can get them for under, let's say $1.80 over spot or less. Because generally you can pick up, or generally you can sell for about $2 over spot. So then you're actually making money.
Well, I know Silver Dragons is in the house. He and I have this little friendly race to a monster box, which he's gonna win, but don't tell him I said that. And the problem here though is I can't get enough of these. I can get. I mean, the last batch I got were literally $15.33. I only got 3 though. I mean, I need to get a roll of that stuff at that price, right? I got the money, but it's the opportunity. That's what makes it so challenging for me. Have you run into that too?
Yeah. I think one of the other great things about the culls is it's kind of like coin roll hunting. You never know what you're going to get. My last video, I got what 1987s and 1990s, 93s, and some of the years that actually might have some additional numismatic value for those who are collecting.
Yep.
That's not what I'm doing with them, but there's potential there for those. So yeah.
I think it's a great way to stack for weight, and quite frankly, I get to pick through them when I go to my LCS. Tim, I've mentioned him so many times. He says, hey, can you see is there a scratch on that field? I can't tell. I'm like, let me look. Yeah, I see a little scratch. Yeah, it's called. Go ahead, take it. Are you kidding me? So he's very generous, and they are absolutely gorgeous. But I can't get enough of them. I might
If
have
you have
to
a
become
if you have a good relationship with your local coin shop, boy,
right.
you can really get a good deal. So
All right.
always
So
support your local coin shop.
absolutely, that is a great piece of advice. So you've been on your channel, beautiful channel, for what? 3 years? Is that how long you've been YouTubing?
Yep, I started up April 16th
Mhm.
was when I did my intro video. And then I guess it was maybe 2 or 3 weeks after that I published my first content video.
What has been the most challenging part of creating YouTube content for you?
Time. The time that it takes for me in production. I strive for perfection.
Mhm.
I don't always achieve it, but I do my best to put out something that's entertaining and educational,
Mhm.
and something that I would be proud to watch again.
Yeah,
And
that
as
comes
long
with
as as long as it meets
yeah,
that criteria, then I
right.
know I feel good about what I'm producing.
I think a lot of people in the chat can definitely second that when it comes to time, and you definitely seem to go the extra mile with your quality. I'm going to dive a little deeper on that with you, but I want to shout out Vegas Stacker, DB Stupid. Thank you so much. Talking Bullion is in the house. Thank you for popping in here. I appreciate it. Guys, this is incredible. We got SilverTorch66 on his first live stream ever right here under the spotlight with Yankee. And I asked you what was the most challenging because your quality is so high and it's obvious you spend a lot of time. Can you peel back that a bit and tell us what does it take to make a SilverTorch66 video? And how much time does it usually take you?
Oh wow. Well, um, I've over the years I've been able to refine and cut a few corners and have some pre-done libraries of pictures and of articles. But basically, I'll start off with doing research and finding a topic, something that I'm interested in, something that I don't know anything about, and something that I think the community might also be interested in.
Mhm.
The problem with that is I'll start on one topic and it
Right.
will lead me to a second and a third and a fourth, and I end
Down
up
the bunny trail, right
yeah,
down. Yep, yep.
and then I end up actually branching out, and I'm doing research on 4 different projects now at the same time.
Yep.
Um,
All right,
and
just to focus it in a little bit,
yeah,
this last video that you just released, which I
okay,
found absolutely fascinating, it was the Belt and Road Initiative,
mhm,
China Ready to Take Over.
yeah.
How long did it take you to put that together? I mean, it was incredible.
Right. So, um, yeah, that was pretty involved. It took a lot of research because I knew nothing about it, and it blew my mind that this has been going on since 2013, and I didn't know anything about it. And so I wanted to share this information to see how many others didn't know about it as well, and how important and how much it does impact us as
Mhm.
stackers because of the economic um, consequences. But how long did it take? So uh, it was probably a couple of weeks of research,
Oh,
and it was a lot of reading. It was a little bit more than normal, but then I go into uh, pictures, finding pictures and video production, and then
mhm.
scripting. So, the video production was a couple of days, and the scripting was another couple of days,
Man, that is incredible.
and the sound, putting the audio in,
Right.
and then the music background, and then of course
The
my
graphics.
actual script, my actual narration.
Yeah, I want to ask you about that too. Do you actually script out exactly what you're going to say?
I do, and I do that on
Wow.
purpose. Yeah. When I started my channel in 2016, you watch these YouTube channels on how to have a successful channel, and they always say, well, you need to have your own niche. You need to, you need to have something that's unique.
Mhm.
And that's difficult because we're silver stackers and we all stack silver. So it was my choice to, when I watched videos, I saw, videos where, the top, they were off screen, or you're, waiting, or there was a lot of repeating of the same words and the same story. And so by scripting, I think I get down to the nuts and bolts and just put out the information that people want, without all the repetition, and then hopefully, give it a entertaining aspect to it as well. So
when I reached out to you and asked if you would be on Yankee Spotlight, I think one of the first things you asked is, can you please send me a script? You wanted the questions, you wanted to know what was going on, which is perfect. Anybody out there, I know Silver Dragons knows this very well, but Silver Heist and others that joined me months ago, no, I like the script stuff. So you and I are probably similar in that regard, probably because we can't just go off the cuff so easily as some of the younger people in the community can do. At least I'm speaking for myself. I need it, dude. I definitely enjoy having something I can like hang on to. So, and the reason why I also wonder too is that you have a very measured cadence, a very deliberateness in the way you speak when you're doing your videos. And to me, that actually just draws me in to listen. It's not just all over the place. It's like it's like I feel my IQ going up just listening to your videos. It's awesome.
Oh, very kind of you to say. I do get some criticism for that.
Really?
Yeah, so some compliment it and some criticize it. Say I put them to sleep, but
well, I mean, you could branch off into ASMR if you ever wanted to.
That's an interesting topic. Maybe I should.
Maybe, yeah, no kidding. Okay, so yeah, every single coast to coast. Stop rolling your eyes, Silver Dragons. All right, so I'm gonna go a little deeper on this. I have to know.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you? No, before I ask this, I'm gonna ask the chat this question. If you were able to monetize your channel and your videos, I should say, or when you're able to monetize your videos, would you put a 1 in the chat right now if you either monetize your videos or you will monetize your videos if and when you break 1,000 and a certain amount, what was it, 4,000 hours worth of view time? So put a 1 in the chat if monetization of your videos is a definite for you. I really want to know this. I'll put a 1. I do. I'm not ashamed to say it. I don't know though. With you, I do feel a little ashamed because, dude, you don't monetize your videos.
No, I don't.
Why?
Well, because it's not why I'm here. It's not why I put out the content. I didn't come to YouTube to make money. I came to YouTube to share knowledge, to make people aware, to take this passion, this subject that I am so passionate about, and to share it with other people. And the intent is not to make money.
For the love of the stack.
It's the principle. I think it's the principle of why I put out the content. I just want people to enjoy the content, and there is a slight benefit to not monetizing, and that is that I can use copyrighted subject matter, either movies or music. Sometimes I do.
Still get a strike.
And yeah, you don't get the strike for that. And as long as I allow, so if you ever see a commercial on my videos, it's because the content provider for the copyright for the content that I used, they're actually putting their commercial on there because I have to agree to allow them to do that.
I see. Michael, I thank you. It means with commercials when you're monetized. Thank you. So you do it. You don't do it out of principle.
Yes.
Well,
And
I
I just
respect
take
that.
advantage. I just take advantage of the copyright thing because I don't.
I see. Okay. Well, again, I do respect that a lot. I mean, clearly at almost 12,000 subscribers, and the views that you get, like I said, that last view, 2 weeks old, almost, 1.8 thousand views. So you could definitely make a little bit on the side, but I really do respect that you don't. So back in 2017, you described the type of stacker you were. And I think it was the video "Why I Stack Silver." And in it you said, and I quote, "I'm the type of person who's not easily swayed. It takes solid evidence and logic for me to reverse my opinion on a matter."
Yeah, yeah.
Could you elaborate on that line?
Sure. I think it's important as a stacker. I think it's important as an investor that you just don't listen to one person, or you just don't follow the trend. That it's important that you absorb all of the information that you can to make the most informed decision as possible. And that's why I format my content in that way. All I'm trying to do is present as much factual knowledge as possible for you to make the informed decision. And so I don't think you can be fickle and change your mind. I mean, there's nothing wrong if you receive new information. You might go down a different path or a different way, and that's fine.
But it takes a lot to change you.
But it does. In other words, yeah. So
You're pretty stubborn. I tend to be that same way too. I have my strategy, right? My Yankee Stacking strategy, and I try to be teachable. I remember my dad telling me when I was young, be teachable, Yankee. You be teachable. That's one of the most important, no matter how old you are, be teachable. And it's hard though. You get set in your ways, especially at our age, right?
Well, you're only as young as you feel. So
So you also described your journey as a crusade. What did you mean by that? I think it was the same video.
yeah. So I feel that I'm learning as I go along. The main drive is I'm learning new topics. I'm learning about world economy and banking systems and the World Bank and all of these subjects that I bring up that affect our ability to invest or retain wealth and stack our silver. So my crusade for gaining my knowledge and making myself smarter and and then sharing that with the community is a crusade. It's a crusade because I want to get this information out to as many people as I can, so that you guys can take it for what it's worth to you and do with it what you will.
Be fat, Yankee. Fat, flexible, adaptable, and teachable. Stop it, TB. Oh man, we were talking, Torch and I, before the stream started, how we kind of like try to stay in shape at our age. It's tougher when you're in your 50s, especially when you're sitting and doing videos. It's not exactly the most aerobic of hobbies, right?
Right.
So I'm gonna one more question before we get into silver money and investments. When you're not stacking, dude, what do you do for fun? Oh, and when you're not stacking or making a video or researching it, what do you do for fun?
Oh, wow. I work full time, so and I do enjoy that.
Retired from the military, but not from work.
Correct. Nice. Yeah. I've so I enjoy going to work every day.
All right, I'm pushing you. I'm pushing.
Okay.
Can you tell me what line of work you do?
I'm in the field of engineering.
Oh, engineering. I can appreciate that. That's cool.
Yeah.
What kind?
That's enough.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Yankee Spotlight does not I don't feel successful until I get somebody saying, okay, that's it. Thanks very much. All right. So are we ready to dive into, actually, I'm going to open it up to the chat before we get into silver, gold, and your investments. I'm going to ask you a few personal questions there too. But if anybody has a question, I gave you plenty of time. 40 minutes to come up with some questions for Torch. If you have any right now, especially those who watch his channel and know a little bit about him, now's your chance. So put in let's see, $3 signs, bang, 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 and then your question. If you have a question for SilverTorch66. Actually, no, it didn't like 3 questions. Oh, wow. Whoa, I just got 3 @ signs. Oh, my word. Question. It just said, no, error. It won't allow it. We'll allow 3 @ signs. Okay, 3 @ signs. Man, I put in $3 signs. It said, wrong. It won't let me. I guess that's like a no-no or something, spamming the chat. All right, so yeah, put in 3 @ signs and then a question. Question. Yankee Canic. Oh, come on, EDC. Dude. What is with the cannon? This is not about me. This is about SilverTorch66. So what do you got for him? Any good questions? Michael, I say he's in the CIA. Yeah, right. Oh, JT, let's see. Anybody out there? Question? I'm going to give you only another 10 seconds. Oh, there you go. SD wants to know. Any kids?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on. I got 3.
I've got 5 children and 2 grandchildren.
What? You've been busy. Man, I'm impressed. 5 kids. Wow. That is really cool. That's cool.
Oh, thank you.
Are they close enough to you? They get to see them?
Well, I'm on an island at the bottom tip of Florida in the Caribbean Ocean, so nothing's really close to me. But
oh man!
But we get together as much as we can.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. 66. Do you? I should probably pre-read these. No, forget that one. Scrapping. Come on, man. 66. Do you think this recent rise in spot is the beginning of a breakout? Oh, we were going to go there, man. PMU doesn't want to wait. Just give me the answer. Come on. Well, Torch, what do you think?
Okay, so the problem is that the silver markets are heavily manipulated, and they're going to fluctuate up and down, and they're going to have spikes, both positive and negative, until the manipulation stops. I don't think we can really count on a breakout.
I think the manipulation stops?
Yeah, until the manipulation stops. So,
wow.
and that I don't think that's going to happen until we have the monetary reset.
There you go. So which the chicken and the egg here, right? Is it which is going to happen first? I agree with you that it's being manipulated to some degree, but what will happen first? The reset?
Yeah, the reset will definitely happen first, because it will be the powers that be that keep manipulating the markets to keep the dollar and the stock market afloat.
Right.
And as long as they continue to do that, then silver will be held back. Silver and gold, all the precious metals, they're going to be held back, because they don't want us to go into those commodities.
Right. So how I would answer that right off the bat is no. I don't. I think it's close, but I think what we saw mostly was a fear of inflation based upon what the Fed is now going to do. I think it's 100% now in July, and that is cut. I think that I wouldn't be surprised if they cut 50 basis. So it's going to be significant there. But I think the big jump was due to the geopolitical issues, and I think that's going to settle down. And I think you're going to see gold settle down. I think it's going to get down, into maybe in the high 13s or something like that. I think it's going to relax some. And the other thing is, I didn't see silver confirm the move with gold. I mean, it went up a little, but it didn't really break. So I just think gold led the way, but I think it's going to retreat some. Do you think that way?
Okay, so historically in the past, silver has always followed gold, and that has been the way it's always systemically been. But with the new the new way the economy and the world economy is evolving, and the way the dollar is depreciating, and the manipulation factors, I think we're going to start seeing a divergence between gold and silver. And I think they'll still move together to some degree. They still have an attachment, because they're both both commodities of value,
right?
That aren't connected to a fiat currency.
Fiat currency. Yep.
But I think you're going to start seeing them branch out and be a little bit more independent in their moves, and not strictly following gold as it has in the past.
So Michael, I asked, what's your take on the Iran situation affecting it? Do you feel that the geopolitical stuff with Iran is, temporarily affecting precious metals?
I think that the situation is affecting world economy and the U.S. dollar, and thus it affects everything. Right. There is a residual effect, a snowball effect that comes down into everything. But I don't really think that is a primary friction point or factor for precious metals specifically.
Right, in a broader sense, no.
Yeah,
that right. I totally agree with it. I think that's the blips that come and go as the case may be. But I think what you brought out with the dollar is a key point. As precious metals stackers, we almost inherently are shorting the dollar. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. I mean, as stackers, we're hedging and we're retaining wealth.
Right.
We're trying to separate our wealth from the demise of this fiat currency. The struggle is knowing when. Is it going to happen tomorrow, next month, next year, next decade?
Right.
I don't think it's going to go that far. I
don't think so either.
think it's going to be relatively soon, and therefore I'm willing
recession?
to say again.
The next recession. Do you think that's when we actually see it happen?
Okay, so that's a tough one because I think there's many moving parts here, and they're all going to play a role. And I think it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take some development. It's going to take some degradation of the economy and confidence in the dollar, and whether we're still actively using the dollar as a petrodollar, whether we still are the reserve currency,
Right. There's so many
other factors and that are going to contribute to it, and we have to watch them all. And that's why I really like to look at the whole geopolitical and economic situation, because if you watch just one portion of it, you're not getting the whole picture, in my opinion.
And you do a really good job of bringing in those different facets. If you look back over his videos and in his playlist, you'll see that you are approaching it from multiple different directions. You're not just fixated on one thing like the Fed. It's not just that. It's not just, what China is doing with, Russia and the Belt and Road Initiative. It's not all that. It's together. And I think you do a good job bringing those things together. A few more questions. Have you gone down the rabbit hole of FOFOA?
Of what?
FOFOA. Okay. If you don't know what it is, I don't either. DB Stupid, you're going to have to spell that out for us.
Yeah, you got to help me out on that one.
I'm going to move forward to some more questions like, what is your favorite piece of precious metals?
My favorite piece? Well, I would have to say it was a gifted ring. A gold ring with a black sapphire that was given to me by my father. I would say that is that would fit the bill. Right.
Wow. Okay, so there's some questions I think popping up. I am sorry, I'm behind.
Am I talking too much?
No, you're doing great. The ratio, I think I see some gold to silver. Yeah, Dragons had that. Donald mentioned it. I think a few other people are saying. So gold to silver. Obviously, this is skewed. What, 91 to 1? 91 ounces of silver to get 1 ounce of gold. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I don't think it's the be with all, but I definitely think it's important. I think it can play a part. I think that silver is the most undervalued commodity that you can actually invest in, let alone as a precious metal. And I think that the smart purchase it would be into silver rather than gold, palladium, platinum, or any of the others, or copper.
Okay.
You could also potentially make a very good profit when the gold to silver ratio starts to find its equilibrium once the manipulation stops.
Where do you think that's going to be?
And yeah, so potentially, I know there's a lot of people that believe that silver could even go to a 1-to-1.
Oh, come on.
Well, I'm not convinced of that completely. However, as we know, silver is used, and it's when it's put into electronics and such, and then when it's disposed of, I mean, it's gone forever.
Mm-hmm.
Most all of the gold that's ever been mined out of the ground is still in existence somewhere, in jewelry or in a bar somewhere. But a lot of the silver is gone for good.
I hear you.
But irregardless, the natural, I think it's 14-to-1 is what the last thing that I think I read of what's in the ground.
Right.
And so if we're at 85, 90-to-1, and the real ratio is let's say 20-to-1, if we can just get back to from 90-to-1 to 40-to-1, just imagine how much more gold that you will be able to acquire by buying the silver now.
All right, so hold up on your questions in the chat. I'm going to do a rapid fire session here right now. Boom, boom, boom. We're going to whip some of these up. So, do you stack gold?
I do, but only when I can get it, very close to spot.
Do you think silver or gold will ever be used as money again in the United States?
Not the physical version. I believe that it could be and will be used to back some other type of currency.
Come on, say it. Say it. Go ahead, say it.
No, it could be anything. It could, honestly, it could be anything.
No, I know what you were going to say. Go ahead. I'll give you free reign. You can say it.
No. It's all good. It's all good. I don't want to. I don't want to pigeon-toe it into one. It could be backed by anything.
Okay. I have a feeling that you're right. I think it could be used as a backing for, the name that shall not be named. So, all right. So, that's fine. Do you now? Silver is historically, obviously, a lot more volatile than gold. Does that scare you at all? The volatility?
No, not at all.
I mean, your time horizon is a little shorter than some of the people that are in the chat. I'm just saying.
Right. So if you understand, if you study a market and you understand the volatility, then you know how to react to it. You know how to respond to it. You know whether to move in or out or buy or I don't sell at all. I just accumulate because it really doesn't matter how volatile it is. I believe that once the manipulation stops, silver, because it's so undervalued, will eventually be worth a worthy amount of wealth. I don't even want to denominate it in dollars because that's not even fair to do.
True.
But it's going to produce a wealth that all of this fluctuation will be meaningless at that point.
I think you mentioned this with palladium and I don't know, rhodium or whatever you said, but is there any precious metals you won't stack? Won't touch them?
Well, no, there's nothing off the table. It's just that, palladium, platinum, some of those other metals, there isn't a liquid market for them like there is for silver and gold. And they aren't, the fact is that they're not as popular. They're not moving in the markets the same way that silver and gold is. And so I'm not comfortable with the liquidity of those particular types. But that doesn't mean that, if they became more liquid down the road, I would certainly consider.
Now you're less of a, I have these, these three types of stackers. It's going to bore the chat, I'm sure, but it's basically a flipper stacker, a collector stacker, and a prepper stacker. And and it's quite simple. The flipper stacker is looking for what's trending. They'll sell it for a profit. Collector stackers just love the shine, have to have it. They don't care about premiums. And prepper stackers, whether you're preparing for retirement, economic crisis, a collapse, anything like that, that's the focus. Now, I'm sure you're a blend, but it sounds like you're primarily a prepper stacker, preparing, right? Would you say that's fair? And I'm not talking about numismatic coin collecting. I'm just saying stacking.
Right. I guess that's fair. The majority of my stack is American Silver Eagles. That's the foundation of my stack, and that is for the purpose of preparation and wealth retention. So in that respect, it's true. I think because I'm a content provider, I'm also interested in, the collecting portion because I
less though. That's a less of a priority for you.
much less.
Right.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
sounds a lot like me. I mean, I do it very little. I describe it as a dessert, silver dessert or gold dessert or whatever. It's like an ice cream cone. It's not my regular diet, but I like to get it every so often.
Keeps you motivated.
Yeah, well, I get motivated by American Silver Eagles and trying to keep up with dragons. I do. I don't understand. I sometimes feel like I'm in a minority. I don't know if you feel that way, but just going to get cull silvers, I get excited about that still. I don't know. I think it's fun. I don't need to have all the fancy stuff to motivate me, although it is kind of fun. So another question real quick. Would you ever sell your stack?
So never say never. However,
I do.
One of the videos that I put out early is part of your strategy is an exit plan. You've got to have an exit plan. If you don't, then you don't have a full strategy. And originally, I had some triggers that would cause me to consider liquidating some of my stack. But lately, I've evolved into an idea of not necessarily selling the stack. I may convert it from silver to gold or from gold to palladium down the road if that becomes the metal. But
would you ever convert it for supplies?
Okay, well, hold that thought. Let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish the first one, and I'll come back to that. So what I would want to do now, where I'm leaning now, is to use it to collateralize, to use it to as collateral for whatever the new currency is, whatever the economy turns out to be, and that way I'm not actually giving up my wealth. I'm just using it as collateral to get whatever the new currency is going to be down the road, and that way I will retain that wealth.
Right.
Now there does come a point where once the economy is stable, once the markets are positively moving again, you don't want to keep everything in precious metals because it's a parking place for your wealth. You're not really making money. You're not, but you're parking your wealth and waiting for bad times to go by.
Yeah, so, unless you're a flipper stacker, it's a pretty lousy investment. I mean, it doesn't give you a yield. There's no real return unless you're flipping them, right?
Well, again, I don't consider stacking as an investment. I just don't. Now, perhaps the flipping
I don't either. Yeah, the flipping piece could be if you're really good at it.
Yeah, if you're really, you can certainly make a profit, but
and I agree with you. I don't view PMs as a traditional investment either.
No, it's definitely a parking spot for your wealth through bad times, and eventually you will. So eventually you will want to utilize it either as collateral or to transfer it into another form of wealth. So, but it would be situationally dependent.
Right. Good.
Yeah.
What just put on your collector stacker hat for just a minute.
Okay.
What piece of precious metal is on your dream list? What do you dream about when it comes to precious metals before you go to bed at night? Woo! I don't know why we went there. Okay. Yeah. All right. Back to what do you love? What do you want to get?
Wow.
I could just give you a piece of precious metals right now, no cost. What would it be? And don't say bar, but what coin or what round? An American Silver Eagle. No.
That's an interesting question. I really don't have one.
Wow.
I mean, I've reached a point where I'm pretty satisfied with my stack. I've achieved my goal, my strategy. It doesn't mean that I've stopped accumulating. I will always accumulate.
Same.
So what I really enjoy is whatever sparks an interest for me at that moment. If a new coin that comes out, a new piece of bullion that sparks an interest to me, then it becomes the the coin or the piece of bullion for the week.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Can I just say this one other thing I absolutely love? This is going to drive Alex nuts, but I love the fact that you touch your bullion
Yes.
with
Yes.
your bare hands.
Mm-hmm.
No gloves for you, man. Same thing with constitutional, right? Yeah, you just now. Do you get into numismatics at all?
Yeah, actually, as a young boy, that's how I started. Long before I had any bullion, I had the numismatic, collection that was passed down by grandma, and
It was grandpa for me, but yep, I
yeah,
hear you.
yep, and it created that passion, and we would sit down and at the table. I remember when I was a young boy, and we would go through the wheat pennies and
Oh yeah,
pull out the key dates and.
isn't that fun? Yep.
Yeah, that was
Good
just a
memories.
blast. We that was my bonding moments with my grandma when I was a little boy.
That's excellent. All right, guys, get ready for some questions. It is an hour into the stream. Boy, I really appreciate that hour went by so fast.
It did.
Oh my goodness. I did want to talk, when I get you on here like this, I feel like, dude, you're a precious metals teacher, and I want to sit at your feet and just listen to what you know. Like again, that Belt and Road Initiative, man, I had read about it, but when you did that video, just the last one 2 weeks ago, I learned so much. I mean, it's just exciting to know. But if you have questions in there for SilverTorch66, put an @ 3 signs, boom, 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 and then your question. I think you may have to repeat them because I did get a little bit away from the chat when I was talking to you. Do you see what do you see ahead for the rest of this year as it relates to the economy and the price of gold and silver between now and the end of the year?
Mm.
Come on now.
Yeah.
I'm asking you to predict. I know.
Right. Okay. We really have to pay very close attention to all the indicators and to know where we're going. Potentially, if the dollar begins to demise, if it's no longer used as the petrodollar, if it's no longer classified as a reserve currency, it's still going to take a period of time. So by the end of the year, what do I think? Golly, I wouldn't even venture really to
guys. Just a classic. This is not an investment channel. The views are our own. Please don't do anything based on our advice or our speculation of the future. So, but just
absolutely
go just say what you want.
Yeah. Wow, that's a tough one. I don't think that we can accurately predict. I just think that there are so many variables out there. There are so many things that can influence markets, the precious metals, and if you try to anticipate, I think you're shooting yourself in the foot. I don't think you can accurately do it because at any moment they could manipulate the market and the prices could spike up or spike down.
I know.
And so you wouldn't be doing yourself any justice. I think that when it comes to precious metals, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to have the patience. You have to have the fortitude to hold it out, to wait it out, and to, for that point, for that time, when the dollar starts to demise and the manipulation of those precious metals stops. And at that point, all of our time, all of the effort, all of our dedication to our precious metals is all going to be rewarded for our patience and diligence.
It's one of those things that you need to have, even though you want the reason that you have it never to occur. It's like insurance, right? It's like car insurance, fire insurance, life insurance, you name it. You don't want to need it, but you want to have it because you know what's coming. I hear you, man. I appreciate it. You're so careful, and it just it typifies the way you are. You want to think through things. You don't want to run out and look like a fool. But that doesn't stop Yankee. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you what I think, and this is just for fun. I did a prediction video back on January 3rd, and in July, I'm going to be giving everybody an update on how well I did. So it's just for fun, right? So I said that at the very beginning, January 3rd, that the Fed could not continue to hike rates, and that they were going to reverse this autopilot rate hikes that they had set up, and they couldn't reduce the balance sheet. And that was right. They have reversed course, which is remarkable if you think about it. I said that silver would break $15, and it did. Barely, but it did. I said it by April, by the way, it would break 15. And then I said gold would break 1250. I got too carried away by April, and I was never got quite to 1250. So I was wrong on that one. But I do believe something. My last prediction is I believe that we will have recession by the end of the summer in 2019. And there's several reasons why I think that. But I think they're going to look back 3 months back and say, oh, my word, it actually started in the summer. And I think people are going to front run. Everybody's saying, oh, 2020 could have a recession. I think it's going to happen faster than they predict. And I think the Fed knows it. I think they're trying to front run it. I think they're trying to get ahead of it, which is interesting that they would do that because usually the action is done in response. But I think right now, I think they can see it coming, and they can see the inflation. They keep changing the words. Did you notice that in the last meeting they had? I think it was the FOMC. They took away the word patience out of their press meeting. That vanished. They started, becoming more accommodative. They are concerned about inflation, even though they don't want to look like they are. They'll never predict a recession because that would just cause it to happen right away. But it just sounds like, from what I'm hearing and the way they're talking, as if it's like, oh, well, we look for more symmetric of interest rates, or I'm sorry, inflation. They're seeing it more symmetric because they wanted to. What's their target? Is it 2% inflation?
Yeah, that's their current.
2.5 is fine. Shoot, 3 might be fine because our inflation's been so low for so long. We could go a little higher, right? I think all that just screams they're going to lose control, and they're going to lose control faster than people think.
Well, I think they lost control a long time ago. And I think that all of the numbers that we see are fabricated. They're all not legitimate numbers. They're, I've gotten to the point that I don't even listen to the committees anymore. I don't listen to them because what they say is strictly to manipulate, either in a positive or a negative way, depending on what they need at the moment. And that nothing. I just don't believe any of the economic data that they put out as being accurate, because there are so many other economists that contradict it if you watch them as well, and you can't depend on it. So, but their job is to keep the dollar strong and to keep the economy strong, and they're going to do whatever they have to do that, and they're not going to let it die, whether they have to continue with quantitative easing or whether they do a bail-in, which is a very scary proposition. But that's coming next.
I agree.
And it's just, they're going to do whatever they have to do. And that's why it is so difficult to predict, because you can see the economy tanking and going into a direction and going into recession. But if if they all of a sudden drop another $1 trillion into the system,
or 5 trillion or whatever,
or whatever the number is, whatever the number is, and I think we're 22 trillion in debt now, as a national debt. Is that right?
Right, that's correct.
And what's scary is that countries like China and Japan each hold over $1 trillion in U.S. debt. So either one of those countries could just immediately want to cash out, and it would just decimate the value of the dollar.
It would hurt them. It would decimate us. The debtor nation is the one that gets hit the hardest when this happens. Now, I know we're in this death grip, but they are working overtime to get out of this death grip with us. They don't want it. We know that. You've done a great job of explaining that in your videos. And I think that's one of those things where when they see it collapsing, they want to be prepared, whether it's, central banks holding gold or getting out of dollar denominated assets or whatever it is. I think you're seeing a global actors trying to pull away from the petrodollar, pulling away from just our control.
Absolutely. They're shifting away from the US dollar because they realize that it is not the future. And there's nothing that we can do about it. Hey, we had a great run, World War II and the Bretton Woods Agreement, and we were top dog.
We did.
But the reality is that it's time for a transition, and I don't think that we can change that. It doesn't mean that we're going to fall into a third world status. That's not going to happen. But there's definitely going to be a transition of wealth from the West to the East. This is my opinion, because I'm watching it. It's evidence based, in my opinion.
And you have a global perspective too, because
I do.
The work you have. Yep.
Yeah, and all the evidence is pointing in that direction. And until I see something different, that's my belief. And I just I think that we have to stop. We have to be a nation that produces. We've got to get back to industrializing and producing something in this country.
But getting back to that, it's going to be painful.
Oh yes,
it is going to be more painful than I think the politicians are willing to allow. That this is something that I think. Man, I won't go too political, but we had an opportunity with Donald Trump starting to really tell the people what they need to understand. I have a friend at my church who has brain cancer. She's getting chemo and radiation treatment. If they were to stop halfway through and say, this is too painful, look at the side effects, shoot, her hair's falling out, oh, she's vomiting all the time, we can't do this, this medicine has to stop. If they did that, she would die. And that's exactly what the Fed and others keep doing to our economy.
Absolutely. It's their job to keep things rolling as long as they possibly can. But the point is that we have printed so much money that we cannot salvage it any longer. It is beyond saving, and there has to be a reset. There has to be a restart, right. and then we could continue to build and develop and move in a positive economic direction.
We definitely can't pay off the debt. We can't repay it. We can potentially, if the interest rates were to go up just back to what I remember, maybe half of what I remember as a kid, we couldn't service the debt, right? So the only thing that I see as a possibility is inflating it all away, but that destroys the dollar.
I think that's the intent. I think the intent is to ride the wave as long as you can and get as much value of the dollar as you can, because then at some point there's going to be a precipice and there's going to be a stoppage, and you're going to have to reset. But it doesn't make any sense to try to struggle with it. You got to take advantage of the situation. And I think
we have an advantage. Yeah. We know this. We can take advantage of it right now.
Yep.
JT Coinring said something. I would like to believe that the dollar will not collapse, as Brett Johnson states. The dollar will stay strong even after the Fed tax rise and gold and silver flourish, but history doesn't support that theory. I hear you.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely inevitable. If you look at all world currencies that have become fiat, that have not been backed or based by a tangible asset, they have all failed. And when they have, it has had catastrophic effects on the nation that had the currency. So, I believe because we were a world currency, we were able to prolong the value of the dollar through quantitative easing, through the actions that we've taken, through the using the dollar as a world reserve currency that forced the whole world to use it. That's the only reason that the dollar lasted as long as it has. And once those things stop, As long as they continue, the dollar will continue. But if we stop, there is nothing else holding value for the wealthy people to want to deal with the dollar.
I agree.
And it's inevitable.
I can feel your passion, dude. I love it. I think, guys, thank you for joining this this live stream. The first live stream SilverTorch66 has ever done. He is a fantastic channel. If you've not checked him out, you've got to subscribe to him. He's amazing. I do want to shout out a few people that popped in near the end. Some good people like Fortunate Adventures. Thank you for coming in here. Alex, thank you. Sir Reg 2112. Thank you for jumping in. Universal Stacker, Harvey Birdman Stacker AG. Great to see you guys come in. And of course, Guido Stacking, Rob B. Thank you for jumping in. And I think they're gonna revolt if I don't answer or ask you just some really quick questions that were in the chat.
Okay.
Nomadic Diesel, with a gold to silver ratio of 15, would you still stack silver? Yes or no?
No.
Okay. Alex Coinroll Hunter said, what are your thoughts on 40% and 35% silver? Would you get some if you could get them at just below spot?
Yes.
JT Coin Rings, I learned so much from your content. How do you come up with your topics and your presentation? Wow, that's a big one. How do you get your ideas?
Right. I do it through research, and it's I'll research something, a topic of interest, and it sends me down a path to another topic, to another topic, to another topic. And so I just write them all down and go back to them when I have time and connect the dots. They have to have a connection to wealth retention, silver stacking, economy, so there's got to be a connection there. But as long as there's a connection, I roll with it.
Precious Metals Update 66. Are you familiar with Brent Johnson's dollar milkshake theory? If so, what do you think of it? Are you?
I am not.
Not me neither. Oh, here's another question. What do you think of JT Coin Rings? That wasn't from JT Coin Rings.
What was the question?
Oh, what do you think of JT Coin Rings? I'll ask that question.
Oh, I think he's awesome.
I'm wearing one of his rings right now, dude. I think I take this ring off as frequently as I take this one off, my wedding ring, which is never. It's an awesome ring. Thank you, JT, if you're still in that. He dropped a couple of super chats too. So I just want to shout out JT. He's a great guy, wonderful channel, and he does a live stream with Eli, which is just so cool. Thank you, JT. Guido, stacking. Which bubble bursts first? What do you think, Torch?
Which bubble bursts first? What are the two options?
Yeah, which one? Oh,
there's so many bubbles.
So many. We got bubbles everywhere. The stock market bubble, the auto loan, student loan, the stock buyback, corporate debt bubble. Geez.
Oh wow.
Oh, man, I could go on and on. I mean, there's.
I'd say the currency.
Credit. Okay.
That I think that's the bubble that's going to cause everything else to just drop. If you have any investments denominated in a fiat currency, no matter where you are in the world, you might want to consider hedging your investments and protecting yourself, because once the currency bubble pops, that's basically the US dollar. I do think that the yen is going to go first, then the euro, and then the dollar right behind it. That's the order of precedence. So we will have some indicators to let us know. But
well, don't you think we have the indicators? I don't know if you saw my video. It's different this time, and it really showed two graphs that were just it. You could see it from Alan Greenspan, who started the whole thing, who, by the way, loves precious metals, to Ben Bernanke, to Janet Yellen, all the way up till now, okay? We have markedly changed how we deal with Fed policy, debt, the market, how we're market-driven now, and just the global economic realities. And I showed two charts. They wanted to normalize rates. They said they would. They promised it before Congress that this was temporary. Now they're saying this is normal. This is normal Fed policy. We don't just back up the truck and dump currency because it's an emergency. That's one of the tools in our toolbox. We don't just cut to zero and let it sit there for 6, 7, 8 years. That's in our toolbox. That to me is a serious turn That shows to me the end game. Because the next time this happens, the next recession, and it always comes, and this is now the second largest, soon to be the longest, period of time without a recession. When it comes, they don't have the ammo, and nobody is going to believe them when they say it's temporary. In fact, they're not even going to be able to say that anymore. So I think credibility will be completely lost if it hasn't been already. And I don't see how we're going to get out from, well, what, dude, you're my age. Do you remember as a kid the 70s?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember stagflation at all?
Sure.
That's coming back, dude. Not only are we in recession, not only are we experiencing unemployment, but we're going to see the prices of things go up, the CPI. We're going to see interest rates have to and inflation go up. It is going to be incredible. And that's when I think they lose control. And I think
Well,
it's happened.
I think the Fed is nothing but lip service, whether they're talking to Congress or whether they're doing it in the minutes of their meeting and
Right.
putting it out into the marketplace. I don't think you could take. I don't think you can give them any credibility because their job is just to keep the economy going, and that's exactly what they're going to do. So, when they run out of tools, the thing that scares me is they still do have one tool left, and that's a bail-in, and that is where they take all of the money out of the financial systems and
Right.
they liquidate it to keep the country solvent.
Right.
And that is to me, that is the absolute last thing that you can do. Once you're done flooding the economy with money, through quantitative easing, doing money drops. Once that stops, then you liquidate the financial systems, and then everybody packs up and goes home, and we're left with whatever's left. And
Now, I've watched a lot of your videos, and I apologize if I missed this one, but did you really explain in any of your videos about the fractional reserve banking and also the difference now between what it used to be for many decades when you put your money in the bank and what it means now when you put your money in the bank in terms of the ownership of what it means? You give up your ownership. Have you done a video on that?
yeah, not a separate video,
Okay.
but I have covered that subject as a subtopic in a
Right.
couple of my videos.
Right.
Because it's really important, and
Mhm.
that people realize that the moment that you put anything into a financial institution, into a bank, it is no longer legally yours. It becomes an unsecured asset of the institution. And basically, that institution, let's just say a bank, that bank gives you an IOU, which is your passbook, deposit. Whatever that number is that you deposited, that's what they owe you. But the fact is, they can take your money and do whatever they want with it, and that's what the fractional reserve system, part of what that system is. They take your money, a percentage of your money, and then they're able to use that to produce loans that are 80% more than that, 70 to 80% more than that. Anyway, point is, once you put your money into a bank, it's no longer yours and you no longer have a right to it. So if the bank becomes insolvent, you're not going to see your money. And if you think the FDIC is going to cover you, you might want to double think that,
Right.
because secured assets have to be paid off first with the
You're the
FDIC.
last one in line.
You are the very last one as far as
Got it.
your passbook and as far as anything that's considered an
They
unsecured
may give you
asset.
shares. They may give you shares in the bank.
And you see, yeah, and they have that option.
Yeah.
So, and then once they do that, then because it's no longer cash, the FDIC no longer has a liability towards you.
Got
So,
it. I don't think people realize that. I mean, people in the chat probably do. The people in our community, by and large, probably do. But the vast majority don't realize this was a legislative action coming out of the Great Recession.
yes, it's been going. Yeah, it's been in place and it's been renewed by presidents through
Right.
presidential order uh, since then, because it's a way to maintain solvency, and that is their primary concern. They haven't had to use it yet, but they have in other countries like Greece and
Right.
Argentina
Absolutely.
and
The bail-in is next, I believe.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
you're right. Hey, I have a couple more, and then I'm gonna have to wrap it up. But
Okay.
there you are, spectacular. Well, of course, the party should be starting now that Speg's here, but sorry, bro. This is getting near the end here. We've had a fantastic Yankee Spotlight with SilverTorch66. Dude, I am so honored that you would do your first live stream with me. This has been fantastic.
That's been great.
A couple more. Do you think this next downturn will be the big one, or will it be another consolidation move and another 2008 moment? Says PMU.
Okay.
Basically, the reaction, right? What's the
Right.
reaction going to be?
It depends on whether the U.S. dollar, if the dollar begins to depreciate and we start to go into an inflationary situation, then it's going to continue. That's going to be it. That's the break. If not, then it's just a temporary blip in the road that we just need to weather.
I don't see how they can just say, "Oh, you're right. We're not going to do what worked last time." They have to. They're going to go all in. Sacrifice the dollar. It's just not going to. It politically, shoot, dude. We're coming up to an election. They're going to do whatever it takes. I think.
Yes. Yep.
Second one, JT Coinring said, "Do you believe in quote in-home banking? That concept, in-home banking."
Yes.
What I call
Absolutely.
I call it be the bank. I think.
Absolutely, I do. I think that I keep only what I need to keep in a financial institution in order to pay bills and maintain normalcy. All of my other wealth is kept outside of the institutions.
Dude, I didn't ask you about your portfolio, did I?
Nope, not yet.
Can I shine this really bright? Oh, I'm moving it in. I'm getting it really bright. You feel the heat? Feel it?
Yep.
Can you tell everybody in the chat specifically what is in your financial portfolio?
All right. So I'm fairly diversified. I do have real estate. I have 43% real estate. I have about 15% cryptocurrencies. I have 30% in precious metals. I have a remainder. Yeah, you have to do the math here to figure it out. So if my math is off, but there's the most of the rest of the percentage is in conventional investments, stocks,
dollar denominated.
Dollar denominated. And
what percentage did you say are in equities and?
I want to say, I don't have it in front of me, but it's probably close to 30%, somewhere 20 to 30%. It's not. In the military, they have like a 401k, equivalent of a 401k.
Okay, yeah.
But so I have the money that I've been putting into that for years, and I can't get access to it. The government will not permit me to get access. Not even if I take whatever early penalties. They won't let me touch it.
You can't take penalties and grab it?
Nope, they can't, because it's not my money. You see, it belongs to the institution.
Is that the 401k?
It is, yeah. So that money is there. Now, if I had access to it, I'll be honest, every dime of it would go into something else.
So when I just an FYI, I talk to people about what I do with private mortgage lending with property backing it. So it's not just fiat; it actually has something tangible. It's another way. That's how I primarily invest, is through being the bank and lending and having property with a really great LTV, so I can actually see it and touch it. People need shelter. But one thing I say in there in my playlist over that is that one way you can get out of that 401k to some degree is when you change jobs. Don't just roll your 401k over to the next job. You can actually put it in a self-directed IRA and allow you to invest in other types of assets.
Right.
And it is a huge thing. So a lot of people feel trapped. And by and large, they are in just certain traditional stock and bond type mutual funds, that type of thing. But you can sometimes get out of that.
Yeah, unfortunately, with the one with the government, it's not an option. I would have to terminate my federal service, and that's the only time that I could get access to it.
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. So
yeah.
okay, so you're still in the stocks. I can understand how you're forced into that to some degree, but a little bit of crypto.
Yep.
I said it. I said it.
Yep. Well,
I said it at the very end, though. And then, what percentage is your precious metals of your overall portfolio?
It's again, I don't have it in front of me, but it's roughly around 30%.
Okay,
I have quite a bit.
mine's 25, so that's
yeah.
that's
So
good.
so between the real estate, the crypto, and the and I've got cash as well. So there's a percentage there of just actual fiat,
Right.
and I think that's important
Right.
to have that as well. But it's not in a financial institution.
Cool.
But it's not at my house either, so don't come knocking.
You're in the military. I think you exercise your Second Amendment rights quite liberally down there, right?
I'm fully capable, fully qualified.
Love it. That's the other precious metal that I like to stack too. I hear you. All right, some questions. A couple. Am I keeping you too long? Because I just don't want to let you go, dude.
Nope, I'm fine.
I'm an hour and a half into this, and I just love that you've spent time with me. Guido said, "Torch yielding stocks only." Yielding stocks only.
Yeah, I don't have much of a choice. So because of the nature of the it's called the TSP, the Thrift Saving Plan. It's very similar to a 401k, but the way the government runs it, I have some choices as to what general areas I can invest in, but I really have no control over it at that point. And I've stopped paying into it some time ago. So it's just money that's sitting there because I believe that when the dollar goes, all the stock values are going to go to zero, and therefore I've already written that money off.
Really? Well, in some ways, I have two with a pension that I have with a prior employer that I was with for 18 years, and I look at that and I go, shoot, man, that could be at least a third of my retirement if and whether if you or I ever get to retire, they don't keep moving the goalposts.
Right.
But I look at that and I go, it's probably not going to be there. I don't think it's going to last 10 years, so we'll see. I just put in Silver Torch's channel in the chat. I'm telling you right now, you are missing out if you do not subscribe to SilverTorch66. I saw a couple people saying they subscribed to you. And you know what? I know you have 11,942 subscribers last I checked, but you probably wouldn't mind a couple more, right?
Sure.
Sure, why not?
Welcome to the channel.
Oh, yeah, and you have a great website too. It's just you do a fantastic service to our community. I want to thank you again for what you do. Thank you for joining Yankee Spotlight. Boy, I think it's time I turn off the light, guys. There it is. You're no longer on the spotlight, my friend. Thank you so much for joining Yankee Spotlight. Thank you all for joining. Any last words you want to say to the community before we split?
Just that I appreciate the invite. I appreciate the opportunity to talk with you, and I hope to continue to provide content that the community enjoys.
Well, you are, and you enjoy yourself down there in Key West.
Will do for sure.
All right. Thank you all. Thank you all for joining. I'll talk to you next time, and I hope your day is A-OK. See you, everyone.